man just beat the whole world at weightlifting. Twice. In a row. And he is still only 26 years old. You need to know this. He has only lost one time in his last 7 competitions. One time. Out of 7. Think about how hard that is. The best lifters on earth show up to beat him every single time. And almost every single time, they can't. The one man who did beat him is the greatest weightlifter alive. And that same man just said something about this guy that nobody saw coming. We will get to that. But first, you need to understand just how big this story really is. These athletes sacrificed everything for one number. The least you can do is hit subscribe so you never miss the next one. 461 kilograms. That is the number. Say it slow. 4, 6, 1 kilograms. That is more weight than a baby grand piano, lifted off the floor, over his head, by one man. Twice in a row, he did this and won the whole world title both times. Not just a good lifter, not just a strong guy at the gym. The best super heavyweight on planet Earth for 2 years straight. Only one man has ever beaten him lately. And that man is Lasha Talakhadze, the biggest name in this whole sport. Everyone else? Lalayan beats them. Every single time he steps on that stage, he is the man to fear. Not just a silver medal guy, not just the guy who almost won. The actual world champion. 2 years running. Gyumri, Armenia. Normal city. Nothing fancy about it. Just a regular place where regular families live regular lives. Nothing about Gyumri screams future world champion. Varazdat Lalayan was born there on May 1st, 1999. He did not grow up rich. He did not grow up with fancy gyms or fancy coaches lined up to train him. He grew up like any other kid in Gyumri. Then he found weightlifting. And weightlifting found him. He started young. And almost right away, people could tell something was different about this kid. He was strong. Really strong. Not just strong for his age. Strong in a way that made grown coaches stop and stare. By 2018, when he was still just a teenager, he won silver at the Junior World Championships. Not bad for a kid nobody outside Armenia had heard of yet. But here is the thing. Big countries with big weightlifting programs. Russia, China, the USA. They were not watching Gyumri. They were watching their own stars. A skinny kid from a small city in a small country was not on their radar. Every big program kept scrolling right past him. Being from a small country is hard in this sport. Armenia does not have millions of dollars to spend on weightlifting like some countries do. Armenia has about 3 million people total. That is smaller than some single cities in other countries. Think about what that actually feels like. You are a teenager. You want to be the best in the world at something. But your country is tiny. Your funding is tiny. And you are stepping on the same platform as lifters from countries with way more money and way more support. Most people would give up. Most people would look at those odds and just accept second place forever. Lalayan did not accept that. He kept training, kept lifting, kept showing up. Year after year, he got better and better, even without the huge support that bigger countries had. His personal coach, a man named Karen Karapetyan, worked with him through all of it. Small country, small budget. Big dream anyway. Drop it in the comments right now. Do you think a small country like Armenia can produce a true world champion in a sport dominated by bigger nations? I want to know. Because what happened next shut every single person up. Paris, France, August 2024. The Olympic Games. The biggest stage in the entire sport. Lalayan is going lift for lift with Lasha Talakhadze, the greatest weightlifter who has ever lived. Not just competing against him, actually matching him, weight for weight, attempt for attempt. In the snatch, Lalayan lifts 215 kilograms, right there with the best in the world. In the clean and jerk, he matches Talakhadze's opening weight of 247 kilograms. Then he goes bigger, 252 kilograms. He nails it. Let that land. A guy from a tiny country was neck and neck with the greatest weightlifter alive at the actual Olympics. Say it one more time. 252 kilograms in the clean and jerk at the Olympics against the best lifter in history. In the end, Talakhadze won gold with 470 kilograms total. Lalayan finished with 467. just 3 kilograms behind. 3 kilograms is nothing in this sport. That is the closest anyone has come to beating Lasha Talakhadze in years. Silver medal, first ever Olympics, 25 years old. Then in 2024 and again in 2025, Lalayan went out and won the actual world championship. Not silver, gold, the best in the entire world in his weight class, 2 years straight. And here's the part that will make you sit up. Lasha Talakhadze himself, the same man who beat him by just 3 kilograms in Paris, was asked about the future of the sport. He said Varazdat Lalayan has every chance to win gold at the Los Angeles 2028 Olympics. If Talakhadze is not there to stop him. The greatest weightlifter who has ever lived just said the only thing standing between Lalayan and Olympic gold is him. Lalayan does not talk like a man chasing fame. When people ask him about his sport, he says something simple. He says weightlifting is his in every way. The hard parts, the pain, all of it feels close to his heart. That is the whole person right there. A kid from a small city in a small country who never had the big money or the big programs behind him. A kid whose own country only has 3 million people total. A kid who kept lifting anyway, year after year, until the greatest weightlifter alive had to say his name out loud on the world stage. He is not married. He likes hanging out with his friends in his free time. Simple guy. Big lifts. Varazdat Lalayan is 26 years old. In weightlifting, that is still young. Most super heavyweights peak later, in their late 20s or early 30s. His best years might not have even happened yet. Los Angeles 2028 is 2 years away. He will be 29, right in his prime. And the man who beat him last time, Lasha Talakhadze, might not even be competing anymore by then. The world record total in this weight class is 492 kilograms, set by Talakhadze back in 2021. It has stood for years. Nobody has come close to it except the man who set it. Lalayan's best total right now is 467 kilograms, 25 kilograms away from history. Do the math. That gap is closing every single year. So here's what I want you to tell me in the comments. Los Angeles 2028. Does Varazdat Lalayan finally win Olympic gold, just like Lasha Talakhadze himself predicted? Drop it below. Every single comment gets read. Here is something almost nobody knows about Varazdat Lalayan's hometown. Gyumri is not just a normal city. Gyumri is famous, not for food, not for buildings, for weightlifters. Think about that for a second. One city, a small city in a small country. And it keeps producing some of the strongest men to ever live. You need to hear this next part, because it changes everything about how you see Lalayan's story. Back in the 1970s, a skinny teenage boy in Gyumri started training under his uncle. He weighed about 130 pounds. Skinny, small, nothing special to look at. That boy's name was Yuri Vardanyan. By 1980, Yuri Vardanyan became the first weightlifter from all of Armenia to ever win Olympic gold. He set 41 world records in his career. 41. Nobody in his weight class could touch him. He became so famous, so respected, that the International Weightlifting Federation put him in their Hall of Fame. Same city as Lalayan, same hard streets, same small country with small resources. And Yuri Vardanyan was not the only one. Another weightlifter from Gyumri, a man named Vardan Milatosyan, also became a Soviet champion, winning Olympic silver and multiple European titles. Two legends. One city. Let that land. Gyumri does not just have one great weightlifter in its history. Gyumri makes weightlifters, over and over, generation after generation. That detail right there is the whole story. But here is the part that makes Lalayan's story hit even harder. Armenia has not won an Olympic gold medal in weightlifting in a long time. Not since a lifter named Israel Militosyan took gold years ago. Since then, silver medals, bronze medals, close calls, so many close calls. Think about what that means for a country like Armenia. Small nation, small budget. A history of greatness that goes all the way back to Yuri Vardanyan in 1980. And a gold medal drought that has stretched on for years while other countries kept winning. Every year that drought continues, the pressure grows. Every close call, like Lalayan's silver in Paris, just 3 kilograms short of gold, makes people wonder if this is the closest they will ever get again. Most countries with that kind of history and that kind of pressure would start to lose hope. Armenia did not lose hope. They kept building, kept training, and they found Lalayan. Drop it in the comments right now. Do you think Varazdat Lalayan can be the one to finally end Armenia's Olympic gold drought in weightlifting? I want to know. Because here is something happening right now that could make it real. Armenia is set to host the World Weightlifting Championships as a key qualifying event for the Los Angeles 2028 Olympics. Not a random country hosting it. Armenia, Lalayan's own country. On his own home soil, in front of his own people, during the exact qualification window for the Olympics where he could finally win gold. Think about what that means. The kid from Gyumri, the city that gave the world Yuri Vardanyan and Vardan Militosyan, could qualify for his shot at LA 2028 gold in front of a home crowd that has been waiting decades for another champion. Say it one more time. Home soil, World Championships, LA 2028 qualification, all lining up at once. And remember what Lasha Talakhadze himself said, that Lalayan has every chance to win gold in Los Angeles, if Talakhadze is not there to stop him. The greatest weightlifter in history looked at this kid from a small city in a small country and admitted out loud that he might be the only thing standing in his way. When Lalayan talks about his sport, he does not talk about beating anyone. He talks about how the pain and the hard work feel close to his heart. He said his biggest career moment before Paris was not even an Olympic medal. It was winning the World Youth Championship and a European title, back before he had ever become a champion at the adult level. He said the feeling was indescribable. That is the whole person right there. A kid from a city built on weightlifting legends. A kid who watched his tiny country go decades without Olympic gold. A kid who now trains with the ghosts of Yuri Vardanyan and Vardan Militosyan looking over his shoulder, and the words of Lasha Talakhadze ringing in his ears. So here's what I want you to tell me in the comments. Does Varazdat Lalayan train at the World Championships on Armenian soil, qualify for LA 2028, and finally bring Armenia its first weightlifting gold since Israel Militosyan, becoming the next name in Gyumri's long line of legends? Drop it below. Every single comment gets read. And if you want to see exactly how Lalayan's training changes as LA 2028 gets closer, subscribe to Lift Icon, because that video is coming very soon.